Two Canadians who spent almost 100 days detained in Russia are back home tonight. Alexandre from Quebec and Paul Ruzycki from Ontario were among 30 environmentalists arrested in the Arctic. The entire group is now free after a pardon from President Vladimir Putin. Alison Northcott was at Montreal Airport for Alexandre Paul's return.
It's the end of a long ordeal for Alexandre Paul. 3 months in Russia, much of that time spent in prison.
Vraiment content d'être revenu à la maison.
He says he's happy to be home. Paul was one of 2 Canadians in a group of Greenpeace activists arrested by Russian authorities as they tried to scale this oil platform in September, a protest against drilling in the Arctic Ocean. They were charged with piracy, later reduced to hooliganism. The activists were recently pardoned by the Russian government. Some say the move was Vladimir Putin's way of appeasing critics ahead of the Winter Olympics.
Would you do it all over again?
Yeah.
Back on Canadian soil, his parents by his side, Paul says his fight isn't over.
Climate change is something that's hanging all over our heads right now. Populations are actually getting more and more aware of it. So it's probably giving a symbol to the message actually we're trying to pass on that.
One of his most difficult moments was learning he could get up to 15 years in prison.
Yeah, that was the darkest time. Not knowing actually I could see my parents again. They're not that young, and 15 years could be a very long time.
But the world was watching, and Paul says that attention helped lead to his release. Greenpeace says it also helped raise awareness about the cause Paul was fighting for.
Today, the Arctic is it's part of the public debate, and it's something that people are really starting to care about and to think about.
For Paul's mother, the last months were trying. And today was the wonderful moment she'd been waiting for.
Greenpeace says the other Canadian arrested, Paul Ruzycki of Port Colborne, Ontario, also returned home today, but he asked for privacy, time to reconnect with his family after so many weeks apart. Alison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.